Hi, and welcome back to another episode of First Time Homebuyers Podcast. My name is Tom Sommers with Coldwell Banker Burnett in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I am joined by my co-host, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced in the Pittsburgh area. Eric, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Tommy. Good to be here, buddy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you folks tuning in and listening or watching. You can find us on YouTube, and so you're able to watch this show. Or you can also find us on Spreaker currently, and the podcast is also downloadable. And a lot of people seem to be doing that. We're getting a lot of really good numbers of people that are downloading, even more so than just listening. So it's working for people at any time of the day. We are talking about buyer needs and things that come up for folks that are purchasing residential real estate. And today we want to talk about paralysis by analysis. We received an email from a gal named Beth in Tucson, and she wanted to know when was the right time to buy the house, or how do you pull the trigger? Not the time of the year, but when you find that right house. Because there's some people who get so stuck in overanalyzing the particular houses that they're looking at that the right one passes them by. So Eric and I thought, this would probably be a good topic to talk about how we counsel our clients and some of the things that we suggest that you consider. Eric, do you want to start us off?
Sure, absolutely. In our video series here, or our podcast series, which is also videoed, Tommy and I have talked a little bit on multiple episodes here about having a plan. And obviously you want a great realtor to work with you, but you want to create a plan for your home search. And you want to make some goals in there. And, obviously it sounds a little esoteric, but you really want to make some goals. And some of those goals need to include the ability to make decisions and on a timely basis. Decision number one is who you're going to use as a realtor. Then you're going to go for a pre-approval. That's kind of to be honest, that's an easier decision to make. But once you start looking for an actual home, you have a plethora of things that are going to be thrown at you. So you need to be in tune with yourself, with your significant other, if you're buying with someone else, and of course, your realtor. Whether it's the bedrooms, the amount of bathrooms, the style or the architecture of the home, the school district, how big of a lot, and on and on and on. You need to be congruent with yourself, with your realtor, and with your significant other, so you have a plan. So when you approach the showings and you approach the project of going out and seeing homes, when you do find things that are congruent, you're going to put them over here. Things that aren't right for you, you're going to push them away and forget about them, okay, and concentrate on what works. Then you're going to narrow it down. But in the end, you need to be able to make a decision. And we can coach you, we can guide you, but we can't make that decision for you. In this current market, as tight as it is all over the USA, if you are unable to make a decision, and if you have paralysis by analysis, so to speak, houses are going to leave your availability. They're going to go poof, because the market is such that if you can't act in a timely fashion, and sometimes in an expedient fashion, you're not getting a house.
Yeah, and to use an example, my son just sold a house to this couple who had lost several, and he was showing them homes on a Thursday afternoon. They were done 4:30, 5 o'clock. He got back to his office and noticed a new one had popped up at 6 p.m. It was right in their wheelhouse. He showed them the listing. They said, yeah, we want to go look at it. They had it set up by 7:30. They were in there, done by 8 or 8:15, wrote an offer and put it together that night. And that is a perfect example of what happens. Now, not everybody's going to do that, but the point of that is this. If Adrian had not acted as quickly as he had to help his clients, it's very possible that they would have ended up in a multiple offer situation. So you also, as a buyer, can't assume that money is the be-all, end-all for every seller, because sometimes it's not. They want, a quick sale. They want to not have to show the house to 50 different people. So there's a lot of different reasons for motivation.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, so if you've got competition, like Eric was saying, and you can't make a decision, you're not going to win. And at the end of the day, you have to be able to allow certain things to pass. And that's why we always try to push off anything that's considered to be, like an inspection issue to the inspection. That's one of your contingencies and how you get out. But if you don't get that seller under contract to start with, you're never going to get up to the bat anyways. So you have to start to realize or think about what's really important and what's not. And you have to let some of the small things go. But then on the other side of it, it's normal for all of us to start out with an idea of what we think a property is going to be to us, only to realize that, oh, well, wait a minute, no, that's not that important and something else is. So it's okay to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, I would say this too, and this is a little more esoteric, but just bear with me, and Tommy will give me the hook if I go off the deep end here.
No.
Well, one of the things that has always kind of appalled me as I became an adult and I look back on my life, we learn a lot of things in this world. We're instructed by our parents. We're instructed by, our high school, and some of us go to college, and a lot of us read. The one thing that's never really taught to us as children and even as young adults is how to make a decision, the decision-making process. And a lot of us make decisions every day on a multitude of smaller things. But this is a big purchase. And if you have never had to make a big purchase in your life, if first-time home buyer is the biggest thing you've probably ever purchased, there's a system. And to me, the best advice I've given my younger buyers, my first-time home buyers, is something as simple as how to make a decision. And we can spend an hour, and we're not going to, but sometimes something as simple as making a T account. What you need, okay? What you want and what you need. Put them all in one lump bucket. Over here, what you don't want. Sometimes you got to vet that on paper. I suggest that you do it. Put a plan together. This is not something you want to fly by the seat of your pants. And guess what, friends? I'm the king of flying by the seat of my pants. I ran a guitar business for 15 years. Didn't always make great decisions, okay? But I with the grace of God, I'm here. What I'm saying that I've learned is that you got to spend time on that decision-making process. And when you're buying a home, there's no better place to start right there. Get with your realtor.
Yeah, and that's case in point is why we're always harping on this whole thing of hiring the right agent, because that's part of our job is to help you get to that point where you can make a decision. I mean, we'll never make the decision for you, but one of the reasons that both Eric and I sit down with our clients and say, okay, tell me about yourself, tell me about what you want to do, where you want to go, and all of that, is so that when I look back on my notes, if we walk into a house and I can see it's the perfect home for you based on what you told me, unless something has changed, I'm going to point that out to you, because if you pick someone who is nothing more than a chauffeur to drive you around all day, guess what? All you're going to do is drive around all day. You need someone to help you to say, look, you told me you wanted this, and this. So again, it's the 7 out of 10 thing. If I can, ask for you to give me 10 things that you really want in a house, and we can get you 7 of the 10, I'm sure we can find the other 3 somehow later on. So that's your house. And it doesn't get any better once you walk into the right one, and you'll physically know. So you don't need to look at another 50 at that point.
That's exactly right. And I will add this. The bottom line is, if it was a different market, if it truly was a different market, meaning it was a buyer's market, and we had a ton of listings and a small amount of buyers, you may have enough time to take your time a little more than you are, or be a little unprepared, or even be a little indecisive. In reality, in today's market, you got to flip that around. You got to have a plan. You got to be congruent with your significant other, your realtor, and you got to go after it. You got to go after it. There's not a magic feeling. We're not going to guarantee you the magic feeling that when you walk in, Wonderful if you get it. But if everything matches up and you're in congruence with your realtor, your significant other, and it makes sense logically, sometimes logic is enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so the takeaway then essentially from this episode is don't be afraid to make a decision. Understand what you need to make that decision and write things out on paper. And the more you share with your professionals, be it your real estate agent or your loan officer, whomever, the better we can help you. And Absolutely. So we'll help you get there. But then it goes back again to making sure that you have that right team. So hopefully this answered a couple of questions, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are concerned about this. Beth, I hope this answers your question as well from what I'm getting from you. Thanks for the email, and to all of you who are tuning in and watching us, we appreciate it. We will be back next time with some more information, and if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to give us a call, or if you're looking for a real estate agent in any area of the continental U.S. and you don't have one, Eric and I will provide a service for free where we'll find one for you. You just got to reach out to us and tell us where you want to live. A good one, yeah. One that will actually help you make a decision. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
See you, folks.